Hello and welcome. Lich is a third-party software that adds extra scripting and quality-of-life features to the game. The project has evolved and changed hands several times. At your leisure, check out the Lich software page for more history. You don't need this software to play GemStone, but a large portion of the player base uses it. GemStone by itself is marketed as a family-friendly game. All the official communication channels are heavily moderated to maintain the integrity of the gameplay experience. The latest Lich installation maintains that quality and has some advanced features disabled by default. I'll still show you how to enable everything if you want. Today we're installing fresh on Windows, but Mac and Linux are supported. For current Lich users only, if you already have Lich 5, you can quickly upgrade to the latest build using a few in-game commands. If you are running Lich 4, there's a separate set of instructions to upgrade. You'll see links for the Mac OS, Chromebook, and Fedora as well. For new Lich users only, click New Installation for Lich 5. Step 1 requires you to log into the game using the website at least once. If you've followed this series so far, that should be done. Click the link for ruby4lich5.exe installer. This brings you to GitHub. You want the ruby4lich5.exe on the bottom. Either open it or save it somewhere. Once downloaded, open it. You may get a message saying it's an unrecognized app. Just click More Info, then Run anyway. Leave all settings as their defaults. Click Next through the prompts, and finally, Finish. On your desktop, there should be a Lich5 folder. Go inside and double-click the Lich file. More files will be created, and the Lich character entry window appears. Enter your account name and password, then click Connect. Your Prime character shows as GemStone 4, and the test server characters say Prime Test. You can choose between the Wizard or Wraith client on the bottom, then click Save this info for quick game entry, and finally hit play. Your screen should start filling up with map downloads. Let everything update. Let's talk core Lich components, starting with go-to and room numbers. Almost every room in the game has a number. While playing with Lich, you'll see those above the room descriptions. You can use go-to with a number to travel to that room. Lich commands start with a semicolon. Type semicolon go-to targets and hit enter. This creates a list of all the common places in every town. Certain rooms have name shortcuts. I could use semicolon go to bank to find the nearest bank, or I could do semicolon go to 400 to be taken to the landing bank. Here you see 3619, which is the original room number, and a U3003, which is a new number system being implemented. You can use go to with either number or string. You can make your go-to move faster with semicolon go-to typeahead equals 3. You could go higher than 3 or lower depending on your system resources. Use semicolon go-to help for additional commands and features. Maps are at your fingertips with semicolon Xnarost. You can click a square on a map to be taken there with go-to. Right-click the map for additional options, such as Find Room. Enter a room number to open a certain map. The View Map category lets you pick any map in-game, sorted by area. Fun fact, Xnarost comes from original script Narost that is a tribute to the player who mapped out much of the game across several years to Soren. The Tags feature shows which rooms have forageables. This is useful for bounties or guild tasks. Next up is Alias, essentially a way to create macros or shortcut game commands. Semicolon alias list shows you global aliases, which can be used by any character running from your Lich directory, or character aliases, which apply only to your current logged-in character. As example, if I type semicolon alias add -- global map equals semicolon Xnarost \r, I can now type the word map to open up script Xnarost on every character. For a regular alias, you'd use the same command, just leave out the -- global. Here's how to create a wildcard combat command. I hopped on a sorcerer character to demonstrate with the Bloodburst spell. ;alias add bleed equals prep 701 \r cast \r. Now I can type bleed rat, bleed third rat, bleed seventh rat, etc. Here's an example of a sorcerer's 20th level spell, Implosion. You open a void above your target, which causes it to explode, sending billions of critter pieces everywhere. Here's another example of an alias with no specific target. ;alias add rmd equals incant 702 \r. When I type rmd, or random mana disruption, it casts spell 702 at an available target. Vars is a more advanced feature, showing what variables are saved for your character or scripts you run. You can see that information with ;vars list. Autostart lets you run a script when you first log into the game. There are a few scripts you'd want to do this with. I'll cover them in separate content, but I'll show you how to add one now. Just like with Alias, you can set global autostart for all characters or autostart for your current character. ;autostart add -- global Xnarost. You won't use a semicolon since Lich knows it's a script, and no need to do \r because you're not creating a macro. For regular autostart, you use the same command, just leave out the -- global. Now every time a character logs in, the map script will open. You can remove a global autostart script with ;autostart delete -- global Xnarost. Remove -- global for regular. The repository is where you can download other scripts or upload your own creations. ;repository help will show you a ton of commands to help you sort. You can find a specific author's scripts by typing ;repository list -- author equals name. We'll show more examples of how to download and run a script in just a moment. Version displays current Lich version and some other information. You can see some popular scripts listed right here on the Lich software page. Not all scripts may be for your playstyle, and you may find some that don't work very well, so don't fret about trying to download a lot of them. Only get what you need so you don't clutter up your scripts folder. A popular trusted loot script that many use right now is called Eloot. To download the script, just type ;repository download Eloot. If the author included it, you can find info about a script by typing ;repository info script name. MIDI scripts come with setup options, so try ;eloot setup as example. A GUI window appears letting you check what types of loot you want and other settings. You can scroll down inside this window, and there's tabs on top for looting, selling, or skinning. You should make sure these settings are correct when you start new characters. For this script, clicking Close in the bottom right will save all your changes. Let's try this script out and make another alias. ;alias add -- global lu equals ;eloot \r. Please change lu to whatever you want your alias to be called. Be aware, if you make it the same as an actual game command, the Lich alias will take priority, so making the alias loot will disable the built-in game command loot. Now when I type the rmd alias from earlier, I can then follow up with lu to run eloot. This script will skin, search, and pick up your treasure using command loot room. I'm going to check by alias list and delete lu with ;alias delete -- global lu. I can still run eloot by typing ;eloot. Here begins the advanced Lich features. Lich has an extra layer of features called Lnet. It provides a separate and unfiltered out-of-character connection to the community. You can direct message someone. There's an extra merchant channel and a few popular chat channel streams. You'll gain the ability to view and share character info such as skills, health, current bounty, and more. Some advanced scripts require connection to the Lnet network. Chatting through Lnet is not moderated, and some players may discuss mature or outright offensive subject matter. You can choose what channels you are tuned to, and you have the ability to block another user with ;ignore player if needed. You can also turn Lnet on and off as needed, or have it auto-start if you prefer. I'll show you how to do all of that in just a bit. The current Lnet version is available for download in-game. The instructions and command are on the script Lnet wiki page. I was experiencing trouble using some features while running the Lnet version on the repository. I have a backup of the Lnet file starting with Lich5 that works better. You can get it yourself at tinyurl.com/gsivlnet. Just put it in your Lich scripts folder. You can start it manually with ;lnet or kill it with ;k lnet. I want Lnet to run for all characters on login, so let's add it to the global autostart list. If you get an error saying a password is required, you can enter a password with ;lnet password equals whatever your password is. If you don't remember, you'll need to use lnet.lichproject.org website to reset it. Let's walk through that. The website certificate hasn't been renewed yet, so Chrome may not let you access the website. I went over to the Brave browser. Just click the Advanced button, then the option that says Proceed to lnet.lichproject.org. This page will allow you to reset your Lnet password, but as per the instructions, for safety reasons, it's a good idea to change your GemStone password first, use that to access this Lnet reset feature, then when done, go back and change your GemStone password again. I know it's a lot of steps, but it will indeed get you back into the Lnet network. Once all that's done, go back into the game and use the ;lnet password equals command to enter the password you were given on the reset page. Then, start Lnet with ;lnet. You could then change your Lnet password again to something easier to remember. Alright, now that Lnet is up and running, you can use command ;who name to see what channels a person is tuned to, even yourself. By default, you usually have help only. It is considered the most tame of all the Lnet chat networks. You can give players the ability to view things like location, skills, health, and more with ;lnet allow all. Use ;locate name to find someone connected to Lnet that has their location turned on. It's considered polite to chat or think to someone before blind locating unless you just died while having your silence death flag turned off. Then folks may try to check on you. My Fun with Flags video has a section on that. The ;health command lets you see someone's injuries and vital stats. ;spells lets others see what buffs you have. If nothing else, this is the one thing you should turn on for everyone. ;skills will let you check what training goals a player has set for their character. ;info shows a player's stats, profession, level, and more. ;bounty is a favorite of mine when running bandit groups. That way it's easy to see how many everyone has left to vanquish. ;lnet allow shows what your current settings are. You can turn everything off with ;lnet allow all none. You can specify certain features like ;lnet allow skills all to have everyone see your skills. After using ;lnet allow health friends, only friends can use the health command on you, and you can build up that Lnet friend list with ;lnet add friend. Direct messages through Lnet happen with chat to name message. This is not the same as the chat verb in-game, which causes your message to go to the OOC ESP moderated network. Things can become a little complicated if you don't separate your thoughts and chats. I will have a separate video showing you how to do all that, along with organizing your windows and creating highlights. Here's an example of using Lnet chats, which give the private to label, and the think verb, which gives the focused or focus to labels. Those are direct message examples. With channels, it's a bit harder to spot the difference. You have two help channels now, a think on help and a chat on help. With Lich Chat, you'll see a dash between the bracket and the word you, and on the ESP network, that dash doesn't exist. So if you see someone talking with a dash, use chat on channel to reply. If no dash, use think on channel to reply. This concept will hopefully become even easier after the windows and highlights content, where we put those two networks in separate windows, so you never have to guess which is which. You have to be logged into the Prime server to use ESP with everyone, but you can be logged into any game server that supports Lich Chat. Even at 4 a.m., GemStoners are still grinding away. Another use for the who command is with an Lnet channel to see who's tuned in. Here in the middle of the night, 194 characters in help, broken down by 161 in Gemstone Prime, 29 in Shattered, 3 from Dragon Realms, and me inside the test server. You can tune into a channel with tune or leave it with untune. The first time you tune into a new channel, you won't get confirmation. Tuning twice to the same channel makes it a default. The Lnet merchant channel is where all sorts of things can be bought or sold, but please be aware, offensive dialogue is sometimes on display here. The actual Lnet chat channel is the most controversial, and many players don't ever tune in. You could have a day of silence, an hour of arguing about the best way to make pancakes, or multiple people hurling vile and offensive insults at each other based on immutable traits. Viewer discretion advised. If you tune in, always have a tub of popcorn ready. Now when I type who guap, I see all the channels I'm tuned to, and as mentioned before, this works for other people connected with the Lnet network as well. Thank you so very much for joining me for Phase 1 of the Player Guide series. Phase 2 will contain leveling guides for different character profession combinations. We'll visit different towns, use all sorts of attack styles, and most notably, we'll skip around different level ranges in a more open style format. Additional individual gemstone content is coming as well, like popular scripts, re-rolling, retiring, fix skills, setting stats for growth, the relaunch of Hunt Pro silver farming, and so much more. I appreciate you immensely for being my audience. I hope my guides help you and allow you to introduce a friend to Gemstone. Please take care.